Hi, how you doing? This is Lain. This is my first episode of Positivity. Uh, I figured that it would be a good time to try to connect with people, especially since we've had to deal with a lot of scariness, a lot of things that are out of our control. So the best thing to do is drink a cup of tea. Um, so I wanted to do something to basically get in touch with people, um, feel like we're a little bit more connected than we feel, because we're all connected, but it's just from a distance. Um, so just want to kind of see what kind of tea that you are drinking. If it's not tea, kind of coffee, beverage, that kind of fun stuff. My tea today is this blackberry apple cider digestive awakening. It's from Yogi. I don't know if you can see it. Sure. Uh, Actually, one of my guests left it in our cottage rentals because I like to leave tea and coffee for people when they come and rent from me. And this is a new one. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna try that, and it's actually really, really yummy. So but I love my little porcelain teacups and things like that. I kind of started looking for that couple, like maybe a year or two ago. So I'm getting my collection. Um, so I'm pretty excited about that. But anyway, so I just wanted to kind of talk about what just happened, at least in Michigan, which was our governor told us that even more than the strain that we had before, we can't leave home, um, even for small groups. So that's the difference from what we were doing this last week. And now it's just a lot more where you just, if you don't need to leave home, you cannot leave home. So they're kind of forcing everybody to deal with that even more. So Uh, just trying to deal with that anxiety of not knowing what's going on, trying to not get into a depression because at least for me, being stuck at home can really bring that on for me. Just not being able to go where I want to go. That's the one positive thing about being an adult is that you can leave when you want to and you can do what you want to and buy what you want to, and now it's just everything is stopped, and it hasn't super affected me because I work from home anyway, but I'm getting cancellations just because of the COVID-19 because people are scared and they also don't want to be traveling. So that's scary. And my wife, she's an ER nurse, just starting out too, which is terrifying. Uh, so on top of that, wearing like, okay, before she did ICU, so it's like on the front lines. Literally, she started last week. So it's like, okay, everybody's freaking out. And now she's learning a new position in the chaos. So I guess trial by fire for her. Um, but just, keep her in your thoughts as well, because it's on top of just being anxious of a new job. It's whole new ball game when you have to be scared to go to work. So I feel like if people are feeling that way, I completely understand. Um, and you're able to just deal with it. Hi, Laura. Love you. Odd mix of boredom and anxiety. So true. Cabin fever is definitely a thing, especially with my 2-year-old, because she literally will go to the door, try to open it, and be like, huh? Huh? We're going out? I'm like, oh, well, maybe just outside a couple feet. But other than that, no, baby, we can't do anything. Hi, Uncle Tim. Hello. So yeah, is anybody else drinking any tea? Do you want to talk about what kind of tea you're drinking? Love to hear. And also your coping mechanisms. for new anxiety that you're dealing with, on top of if you've already had an anxiety issue in your life, which I feel like a lot of Americans in general do. So, um, anybody have specific things like practices that have been working for you or family members? I'd love to hear them. So, what I've been doing is just trying to stay present in the moment, and not think about what could be, what might be, what's realistic, what's, fantasy of what could actually happen. So it's just taking a breath when I start to freak out and be like, oh, what if, what if, what if? So what I have to do is just chill and breathe, kind of take a few deep breaths, um, try and think of my five senses. That's kind of what I usually do when my anxiety is its highest is, what are two things that you see? What are three things you smell? What are, four things you can touch to kind of get your head out of the past or the future, um, into what you're doing now. And that really helps me to just clear my mind of like, okay, this is what is legitimately what I can see, what I can touch, what I can control. Because all you can control is the present moment and nothing else. So, scary sometimes, but it is what it is. And my wife hates when I say that it is what it is. Um, but it's so true. And I don't mean it in a negative way. I think that's kind of like the teachings that I've been learning is just there are a lot of things you can't control and you have to surrender to them, but that's not necessarily a negative thing to surrender. Like we are so controlling as a society. Like I need to control what I eat, control what I people. That's a major issue for people that try to control others. And no wonder certain relationships have issues because we all kind of want to control each other, unconsciously sometimes. But we just are have this steel grip of control, and it's an illusion. There is no control, and you just have to remind yourself that that's always been that way. Not even just in a situation that we find ourselves now. It's every single day. We just, there's only certain things that you can do in your own life to just be like, this is what I'm doing now. So in turn, my future will slightly skew or shift because I'm doing this now. So that's the only way that you should be thinking of the future is okay, in my actions now, in my, basically how my brain is working, what can I do to control what I can control and nothing else? So I actually have been reading this really cool book, if I could talk, this awesome book. Um, and it's not necessarily for just Buddhists, but it's called Buddhism for Mothers by Sarah Napthali. Really, really cool, interesting. I've actually read it twice now, because there's a lot of different chapters on how to deal with being a mother and being calm, and not kind of flying off the handle when your baby's screaming for no apparent reason, which Deb, my daughter, does on a daily basis now. um, I'll grab the wrong snack and she will go on the ground rolling around, and I'll be like, "Wow, baby, you need to chill out." Um, but it's just, oh, I think people are talking and I'm not seeing this. Hi, Rich. Sorry, this is all new to me. Currently enjoying a cup of dark roast coffee from Ethiopia. I can't even say Sadama, Laura. Sure. It tastes like blueberries. Ooh. Keeping busy. Uncle Tim, being mindful of the moment. Awesome. No control. Right. Hi, Jen. Um, Sorry, this is all brand new to me, so I totally thought nobody was talking. So thanks. But anyway, sorry. So it's even about like relationships, how to deal with your partner, how to, there's a lot of cool things, and there's a lot of interviews with mothers that happen to be Buddhist, and how they deal with day-to-day things. So um, I was reading this last night, and there's a little thing of, different ways of cultivating mindfulness in our daily lives. So, especially for people who have children that aren't usually home, that are home, feels like there's probably even more chores than normal because you're being stopped constantly by your kids. So, using this as a way of not seeing it as necessarily, "Oh, it's another thing I got to do. It's a chore." That's a negative kind of term of like, oh, it's a chore. You're being a chore right now, to me. So, I'm just gonna read a couple of them. Oh, Yogi Brand, sweet clementine tea. That sounds good. Anyway, okay, so when you walk, say to yourself, I am walking, and feel the effects of the ground on your feet. I actually took an intro to Zen Buddhism class, actually with my Uncle Tim, who is on right now. And part of every single time that they were, oh, and Jen too, actually. But basically, almost every time that we sat in meditation, in between, we would all get up and walk. And we would kind of stay in the same cadence with each other, having the same separation, basically making sure like your hands are at least, because I guess a lot of energy leaves your thumbs if you leave them kind of high and dry, almost like the mudras in yoga and stuff like that. So you kind of always have your hands like this to kind of keep the energy in as you're walking. You're not necessarily focusing on the person in front of you. It's just so you don't knock into them. Um, and you just walk for minutes and minutes and minutes, and just being in that walking cadence and that constant movement, it's a meditation. And especially now, since we're not allowed to go anywhere, even just walking around the block, um, using it as this is here and now. I'm doing this. This is great. Hi, Taya. Hi, Mary. But anyway, yeah, so that's a great one. I think that a lot of us walk to get somewhere. Um, Almost all of us probably. But if you are conscious of, okay, I'm getting from A to B, but the journey, I mean, that's literally now. So instead of again thinking of the past or the future, I am walking. And that's it. Oh, good. Okay. Anyway, so next one. When you do housework, notice every detail of the task. If you're washing dishes, which is one of my least favorite things to do, or folding laundry. Like I love doing laundry, I just hate folding it. It's I don't like that. But when I do it, I have to be like, I'm doing this for a better purpose. It's not just, oh, I hate doing this. Just literally folding or, sudsing up the dishes and washing them off, and every single step in the process, you're in the present moment. And there's no good or bad about it. It's just what's happening. So, drinking chocolate organic dark roast. Awesome. Labyrinths. Yes, for sure. I actually one day, I'm not sure how far in the future, I definitely want to make a labyrinth at our retreat center. Um, I just love that thought of, going into the circles and just literally 1 foot at a time, constantly just you're moving, you're going somewhere beautiful. And I think it's just so like, especially in nature, if you're in a really beautiful spot, awesome. All right, so when you eat, be conscious of the movements of your hands, the taste of the food, the sensations of swallowing and digesting, and the feel of the food in your stomach. Um, I've heard many people practice mindful eating. Um, hi. Laundry is the unending, always chore, especially for me because I have 6 rental cottages. So it's even worse, especially because I cannot fold a sheet. But anyway, sorry, I'm getting way off track. But okay, so mindful eating. Um, I've definitely tried to do this, but it's so hard because, with kids, with, a job that you have to go off and do something, it's so much just fast food, get it in because you got to eat and not necessarily enjoying it, letting it sit. Supposedly you're supposed to just chew a million times on each piece, and that's really difficult for me at least. I enjoy food, but it also is something that I've had difficulty with because I've always had a weight issue. So, there's all of this feeling of uh, intuitive eating. Yeah, pretty much same thing. So it's just okay. Food is something that's been very hard for me because it's just something that I know is bad. Like it literally in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm eating, I shouldn't be. Why am I eating? I'm overweight. You know what I mean? So, um, it's been really hard for me to start liking eating food. Um, and it's just really, really rough for a lot of people, even if it's like under eating, and overeating. But, just having that time to taste the food that you're eating and being aware that it's nourishing your body. And if you don't eat the right foods, then disease will happen, diabetes, or even just, eating things that are harmful for you. So that's a big one. That's one I need to work on, actually. My relationship with food. So when you wait in a bank queue or at the supermarket especially recently, shout out to all my Aldi peeps and all my grocery store people. I worked at Aldi for 11 years. So glad I don't have to deal with this now. So I apologize for silly people being crazy to you. So I mean, I tried to give a, one of the ladies at my Save-A-Lot near me a tip. I was like, here's $1. And she was like, I can't take that. And I was like, I'm just gonna leave it there. Bye. And as I like walk away, she's just laughing. And I was like, you guys deserve it. I mean, it sucks. You don't even get hazard pay, which don't get me started on that. But so when you're at a supermarket, especially now because it's crazy times, pay attention to all the sensations of your body. Do you need to relax tense muscles, correct your posture, or soften your face? Um, especially now. Chips, 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 Tim. Um, just, like be in your body. Always constantly, like I know it's another chore. It's like I hate going to the supermarket, but it's you're still here physically. So you can kind of use that as well to keep yourself in the now. Wherever you are, take in your surroundings. Challenge yourself to notice a new detail about your neighborhood every day. That is perfect for right now because we're all stuck in our homes. We're used to it. We probably put stuff there for it because, we're adults. um, and so basically, we know supposedly every piece of our home, every wall, everything, but just taking the time to notice, oh wow, that is a really pretty picture, or I think I need a piece of art over there, something like that. It could completely shift the way that you think about your living room or your home, because it's just you're not used to seeing it. Um, and preparing yourself before going to shopping, yeah, it's almost like you have to steel yourself to be like, there's going to be people there that are going to be rude because they're all up in their own heads, and we all are, to be honest. But in general, especially with the neighborhood, since it's getting nicer, at least not necessarily up here because it snowed this morning. That was awesome. Um, but once it starts getting nicer out, then you can go around. Just obviously make sure you're a distance away from your neighbor and be like, "Hey, guy." Um, but again, it's something that you might not have noticed. Hey, that guy changed his fencing. Oh, that's nice. I should probably compliment him the next time. Something like that. All right. Listen attentively to others and pause before jumping into the conversation. I know a lot of hi, Rachel. I know a lot of people that don't do that. I stop myself from doing that because I get too excited about a topic that we're talking about and I want to tell them so bad. And I realize I'm not really listening. Um, so it's just a lot of times, hi, Will. It's just people saying, oh man, I totally forgot that I need to pay attention to what you're saying so that I can basically say what I want to say without sounding dumb because you weren't paying attention. So that's a major one that at least so you don't be as rude to people that are trying to communicate with you. And it's even bigger now that we can't see each other face to face. So get on Skype, get on Zoom. I love Zoom. Been using that. I couldn't go to a family function yesterday, and we Zoomed, and they sang me happy birthday. So it was awesome. Oh, it looks like lower Michigan, it was snowing as well. So I don't feel as special now, but whatever. Uh, Michigan, if any of you know. All right, so da, 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 da. Take every opportunity to focus on your breathing to rest your mind. Now, in my yoga teacher training, it's one of the first things we learn is breath work. It's called pranayama. So basically, that's why a lot of times they say count to 10, using the breath pretty much. It's like one, two, three, and then you kind of peter out because you're breathing differently. You kind of change how you're breathing, if it's deeper, if it's longer, or even not shifting it at all. It just being conscious and aware of it. A lot of times I've taken multiple yoga classes, and a teacher literally has to cue you to breathe. And it's not even a hard yoga class, but people just like suck it in, and they're like, oh, I'm doing this pose, this crazy pose. I can breathe, like they don't even realize they're not breathing. Again, like if I have any people in like gyms and stuff, same thing. Um, so it's just having that moment of like, yes, it's a normal thing that you have to do that you don't even think about. You're doing it. But that's one thing you can control is your breath. And if you start feeling anxious, if you start feeling just like out of control, spiraling, that's the first thing you're taught to do is focus on your breath. Don't change it necessarily, but just, and then you start to really start to stop and slow down, and the world kind of goes away for a second because you understand I'm still alive, I'm still breathing, we're okay. So that's a big one. Probably first step for anybody that meditates either is just, focus on your breath and you're meditating. Anytime that you are doing something with intention and you have your focus on it, that is meditation. So, pretty much, again, awesome book. Even if you're not a Buddhist, it's just basically a calm approach to caring for yourself and your children. I definitely recommend it. So does anyone else? Oh, thank you. It's not my birthday yet, but I live far away, so we get to put them all together. Have anything about breathing? Yeah. So during Taekwondo, TKD for Laura, you're so like hyper focused on the pose and doing it right and accurately, and you just stop. Like you tense up and you just have to. Oh, like no, that's it's you're supposed to breathe through the motion, and then in turn, it feels a lot better dancing and stuff. Same way with that, for sure. Oh, people always forget to breathe. It's terrifying, but it's so true. um, so yeah, anybody else? Anything that you guys have been using to de-stress yourself, please comment. It's great that you guys are talking because otherwise I just feel like I'm shouting into the void. Which is fine. I could talk forever, as some of you know. Um, oh, it's better. It's didn't steep for very long, so now it's even better. Um, let's see. Hi, Stephanie. Try to slow down in everything. I've always had a hard time with breathing during yoga, running, gym workouts. Yeah, yeah. I mean, at least you're not alone in that because it's just kind of human nature to just, oh, I can only do one thing at once, and if it's super intense, I gotta stop something, so I'm gonna stop breathing, which doesn't make sense. Um, anyway, trying to see. So pretty much, I appreciate everybody coming in. I really want to make this at least a weekly thing, if not as many times as I can. Working multiple things right now, so you never know, especially in this trying time. I like having some way of connecting with people, especially because I'm very close to most of my friends anymore. So this is almost getting me out of my comfort zone to connect with people. And even hopefully in the community that I actually now live in would be great. Getting a good night's sleep, big one. Rachel. It's fine as long as I like what you said about intention. Oh, this thing is taking forever. How does this live talk work? Joe, I guess you just watch me and say hi. It eventually, I think it records itself and I can post it later. But it's basically, it's literally live. So hi. Um, that is what I have been focusing on in my practice of Wicca. Yeah. So I think a lot of times, especially in religion, a lot of it's the same. It's connecting with your inner light, in your inner God or universe or nature. It's really all the same thing, just with a different name. So that's why, I was watching one of my other friends go live this morning, and she prayed to God and to Jesus, and I was like, yes, do it, because it's. I used to have a weird pulled up on religion, because I was long story. I'm not even gonna get into it, but now I feel like there's no reason to judge anyone else for what works for them. And really, at the end of the day, it's all the same thing, just with a different name. So we are so much more connected and the same than we really realize. And we just need to remember that, especially when there's so much hate speech out there, constant barrage of it. I've been liking seeing on Facebook that people are like, send me cat pictures and do do do, like your 14th, or I think I saw somebody say your 100th picture on your phone. That's a little far. I couldn't do that once. I'm like, I don't even want to scroll that long to get a picture. But anyway, at least a lot of people are trying to get away from the fear mongering that happens on both sides and everything. So it's not worth it. So I kind of wanted to create more content like this to again connect with people, to hear from people because we aren't allowed to. Um, so, and if you can't make the specific time frame, I'm going to post the recording. I'm assuming it's recording. We'll find out if it's in or not. So that you can see it later if you want. And give me comments on what other topics that you might want to talk about, things that you find relevant, things that you liked, and be kind because this is my first time. If you think I'm just full of it, keep that to yourself. I'd appreciate it. So I'm gonna have one more little sippy, and then I'm gonna do a quick meditation. And it's not my own because I'm still working out the kinks of the ones that I've been writing myself. But there's this awesome book that I had to buy for my yoga teacher training, but I'm glad. You watch Star Wars to de-stress? I haven't even seen the last one. I hear it's good. I haven't been to a theater in 2 years. Oh, so horrible. And I don't have Disney Plus, so it sucks. But anyway, chakra meditation. It's by Swami Sarananda. And it basically goes through each chakra, kind of stuff that you can focus on. Each chakra in your energy field is connected to different things. So it's been really kind of cool to read what each one is intended for, how to basically balance yourself out. So I figured that we could do the meditation to overcome fear because that's what anxiety is fear. um, and really the only way to combat that is through intention and love. And love is the only thing that fixes anything. Kindness, loving kindness, as Buddhists say, is just sending metta, sending loving kindness out to the world because you know that we all have the same soul. We all have the same root. And we're just sprouting out, to live our experience and to gain our experience the way we are. But basically, it's just to get people to love. Um, so I hope this works for you. So maybe I was lying. This will be my last sip. Yum. Okay. All right. So I want you to first to kind of take notice of your breathing. Sit in a comfortable meditation position, preferably cross-legged. Hold your head up tall. Lengthen your spine and let the back of your neck reach upward, while the rest of your body remains steady and relaxed. Visualize an oak tree and ponder its qualities: strength, endurance, stability, deep rootedness, and an ability to draw up nourishment. Then to release old self-images and to inspire new ways of being to emerge. Mentally repeat affirmations based on the qualities of that tree. I have the strength to endure the upheavals of life. I am grounded and secure. I embody courage. I draw sustenance from the world around me. Visualize that tree, its roots deep in the ground, soaking up all the nutrients it needs. Visualize its branches, even if they're just budding for spring, grabbing that sunlight that we all need. Imagine your trunk strong, unmovable, but still bending so it won't break. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out from your mouth. Let's do one more together. Inhale in. Exhale at the sigh. Open your eyes and smile. Even if you're anxious and you're fearful, put the smile on your face and your mind doesn't know the difference. That's what's crazy. So even if you're stressed out, we're all there with you. And if you ever want, reach out to me, reach out to your friends. Because even if we can't be there physically for you, we're still there and we can still talk you through whatever you need. So thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate it. It was way out of my comfort zone. So thank you so much for everything. Love and light. And I send it to you. And have a great day. And I will see you later.